Hey, hello, what's up everyone? In this video, I'm going to teach you about what happens when moon is sitting in the third house of your D10 chart or dasamsa chart in Vedic astrology. So before beginning, if you guys not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon and click the like button. And if you guys have any doubt after watching this video, please do mention that in my below comment section, okay? And yes, please do like and follow my Facebook community page, Parikshith Astrology. So let's begin. So mainly, what do you mean by D10 chart or dasamsa chart? See, D10 chart or dasamsa chart, it's mainly opening your 10th house of your birth chart. So it's microscopically opening your 10th house of your birth chart or the D10 chart. Okay. Now, dasamsa chart or the D10 chart is mainly seen for your career. Okay, how you will succeed in your career and how society will perceive you can be seen from the D10 chart or dasamsa chart. Now, coming to the third house of your D10 chart or dasamsa chart. Now, what does third house of your D10 chart or dasamsa chart represents? See, third house of your D10 chart or dasamsa chart represents actually your communication in your career. How you communicate with your colleagues in your career can be seen from the third house of your D10 chart or dasamsa chart. It is also seen for your skills. So, your talent or skills can be seen from your third house. That is, your professional skills can be seen from the third house of your D10 chart or dasamsa chart. It is also seen for your traveling. So suppose if your company wants you to travel from one country to another or one state to another, that is seen by the third house of your D10 chart or the dasamsa chart. Now, third house also seen for your courage in your professional area. So suppose if you want to start your own business, you need third house of your D10 chart. So if third house of your D10 chart or the dasamsa chart is strong, then that shows that you can start your own business. Third house is also seen for sales and marketing purpose. Okay, it is also seen for writing ability and all. So these are all the things can be seen from the D10 chart or the dasamsa chart. Now, what happens when moon is sitting in the third house of D10 chart or the dasamsa chart? Now, what does planet moon represent? See, planet moon represents your mind. It also represents your happiness. It also represents your mother. It also represents your emotions. Okay, so when it comes to matter of career, that too especially dasamsa, so moon represents happiness from your career. So how you emotionally react towards your colleagues or not can be seen from the moon in the dasamsa chart and its placement of the planet moon. So when moon is sitting in the third house of the D10 chart or the dasamsa chart, now it also shows that you will communicate with your co-workers with emotionally and all. It also shows that your colleagues also will communicate with you emotionally sometimes. Now, when moon is sitting at third house, it shows that you love to travel a lot. Okay, so whenever the company sends you to other places, you love to travel. For example, if a company has some project and that company needs you to go towards the client and submit this project, so you love to travel. Okay, so that's how the moon works in the third house. Now, it also shows that if moon is debilitated, you get frustrated, okay, in your office if you talk with your colleagues emotionally and all, because you hide your emotions but you don't express it. So that's why your mind get frustrated and you get frustrated. Okay, so moon in the third house debilitated, it's very bad. Okay, up to some extent. If Jupiter is aspecting the moon and Mars is in the third house with the moon, or Mars is in Kendra, that is very good. Or if Mars is aspecting the moon, also very good for you. Now, moon in the third house also shows that you can become a very great astrologer or lawyer, or you can become a very great traveler, or you can even work in a travel industry also. Now, what happens if moon is conjuncted with different planets like benefic planets and malefic planets? Now, coming to the benefic planets. Now, what happens when moon is conjuncted with benefic planets like Venus, Jupiter, and Mercury? Now, coming to the planet Jupiter. Now, what happens when moon is with Jupiter? So what does Jupiter represent? It represents divine knowledge or spiritual knowledge. It also represents teacher, guru, or advisors or counselors. It also represents banking sectors and all. It also signifies money. So when moon and Jupiter are sitting in the third house, that shows that these people can work in banking sectors as a customer support or as a help desk. These people can also work in IT industries as a help desk. These people can also work in customer care centers and all. These people can also work in hotels. Now what happens when moon is with Venus? Now what does Venus represents? It represents beauty, it represents females in a man's chart, it also represents luxurious life. So when moon and Venus are sitting in the third house, that shows that these people are very much romantic when they talk with their colleagues, especially female colleagues in their career or in their professional areas of life or in their office. They'll be very much romantic people, and they love to talk with the females, especially because they'll get very much happy when they talk with the female colleagues. Now what happens when moon is with Mercury? Now what does Mercury represent? It represents your logical ability, it also represents your communication, it also represents business minded. So when moon and Mercury are sitting in the third house, that shows that these people are very much business minded. These people, whenever they talk with their colleagues, they always talk about money, they always talk about the business in the office. It also shows that these people are very good at communications and all. These people are very much comedians in their office. Okay, you can say like that. Now what happens when moon is with malefic planets like Sun, Mars, Rahu, Ketu and Saturn? Now coming to the planet Sun. Now what happens when moon is with Sun? Now what does planet Sun represent? It represents king, it represents government, it also represents politics. Okay, it also represents your boss, your father, it also represents the highest authority, it also represents your soul. When Sun and moon are in the third house, that shows that your relationship between you and your boss will not be that much great. It also shows that you won't get that much happiness from your boss. It also represents you might be having some ego problem with you and your boss, okay, or some manager and all. Now it also shows that you may have ego problem with your colleagues also, or you might want to dominate over your colleagues in your office. Okay, that shows that there might be some problems with your relationship with you and your colleagues in the office. Now what happens if moon and Mars are conjunct in the third house? Now what does Mars represents? It represents your courage, it represents engineering things. So when moon and Mars are sitting in the third house, that shows that you people can work in IT industry, or you people can be mechanical engineer, or you people can work in like in a government field, especially like police officers and all, which requires courage. Okay, now what happens when moon is with Saturn? Now what does Saturn represents? It represents hardworking people, it also represents laziness if afflicted, it also represents the principle and discipline that a person have, it also represents older looking people or matured people. So when Saturn and moon are sitting in the third house, that shows that these people will get happiness when they talk with their elder people in their office. Okay, these people will be very matured at talking with their colleagues. These people are very much lazy. Okay, and if they work hard, they will rise high, because here Saturn again, it's malefic sitting in the third house. If it is in the own side, exalted side, or bull record side, or friendly side, then that shows that these people are very much hardworking. Okay, now what happens if moon is with Rahu? What does Rahu represents? Rahu represents technology, the new technology. Rahu represents Maya, illusion, problems. So when moon and Rahu are sitting in the third house, that shows that these people can work in IT industry. It also shows that these people have some problems with their colleagues also. Now what happens when moon and Ketu are sitting in the third house? What does Ketu represent? It represents detachment, it represents spirituality, it also represents like living far away from someone, it also represents isolation. So when moon and Ketu are sitting in the third house, these people want to be in a isolated place in office. It also shows that these people does not want to talk with their colleagues at all. So you need to check the dispositor of Rahu and Ketu wherever they are sitting. So yep, this was my analysis of what happens when moon is sitting in the third house of the d10 chart or dasamsa chart. So yep, this is it for today guys. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe below, or else I will see you in the next video. So if you want any consultancy, please do contact my given below WhatsApp number, or else you can even mail me also. So until and unless, thank you, bye bye, love you, take care.